Dirt roads to rock crawling, two-buck chuck to screaming eagle, moonshine to 50-year-old single malt. We talk about it all here on Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey with your hosts, Jason and Chris.
Welcome to the Wheeling Wine and Whiskey Podcast, episode 233. How you doing, Chris?
233?
I don't know.
Shit.
That's what Lorenzo told me to say. Is that right?
233. I got nothing to match with that right now.
You don't? You don't have the it's right here. I'm looking here. Let me look at Apple Podcasts.
Oh, we need a new process 233. There we go.
Wow, look at you bringing it back to four-wheeling. Nice.
I'm telling you.
Chain-driven transfer case, right?
Episode 233.
You get that chain slap when you're like hitting the clutch.
Oh my God. Yeah, because I have a manual transmission.
I don't like chain-driven transfer cases.
I know.
Because of the slap.
Slap and slop. Slap and slop.
Yeah, that's it. So, what are we going to talk about this podcast?
Gosh.
What do you got?
I don't know.
You got anything? We going to make some shit up?
No. We had nothing to make up. We don't make shit up on this show.
We don't?
We talk about real life experiences. One of my high school teachers talked about real life experiences, and you know, as we age, we gain those real life experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that we just recently did was definitely a real life experience. So.
Are you referring our Arizona trip?
Arizona, yeah, we went down.
Arizona's cool.
No, it's not. I mean, it's a climate.
No, it's a cool place. Not like cool figuratively, but, well, yeah, it's just a neat, unique place.
It is. There's some great terrain.
Hotter than Hades at times, but, you know.
I don't know. That's a whole nother discussion, which, you know, it's interesting to me. Maybe some locals can chime in. Mike, Austin. You know, I
he
saw
doesn't listen to podcasts anymore.
He doesn't listen to podcasts anymore. Max.
He doesn't. Max has actually been interacting with me a lot on IG. So he's building another rig.
He's a supporter of the show too. So.
He is. Thank you, Max.
Absolutely,
Mike.
But
I don't know.
I saw in the news over the summer they said, "Oh, another record-breaking day. It's 119 in Phoenix, or
can't be much more than 114."
And I'm like, "Isn't it always that fucking hot in Arizona during the summer?" And I mean, it's like that's the thing that just blew my mind. I actually in the golf industry when I worked at a country club. This is over 20 years ago. One of my crew members on the work there, he moved up from an area outside of Phoenix, and he said, you know, they started work at like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Sure, because it's cool.
Right. Well, relatively cool. But he's like, yeah, it'd be like 122 in the shade.
Yeah.
And I mean, and hearing in the news, you know, this summer about people bitching about being 119, I'm like, well, that's hot. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I can remember being 116 here in Livermore, and I'm like, fuck, that's hot. That was hot, really hot. But 100, if you're used to it, it's 119 or 122. It's a dry heat, right?
Yeah. It's still hot.
It's still as hot, you know. I don't know.
Spin it any way you want. It's still hot. But what was cool is we flew into Phoenix, and you know that's desert, big city.
It is a big city,
and we drove 3 hours.
No, I drove 3 hours.
Well, I was there too. Okay, I rode 3 hours. Whatever. You rented the car. Want to get into semantics?
Yes, I do.
Drove like an old man.
But I
drove. Didn't. Yeah, you actually did well. I think you averaged 80 miles an hour from Phoenix to Pine Top, Arizona. But what was cool was to watch go from the valley per se and cactus, because there's more than one.
Cigarro cactuses.
Cactuses. What do you have another glass of wine? And then you go up to like heavily wooded, very dense pine trees. And I'm like, where are we right now? Are we still in Arizona? It was impressive.
Yeah, and the elevation change was dramatic. I don't know what the elevation in Phoenix was, but what did you say when we were up at Pine Top was we were over 7,000 feet, right?
Yep. And it was cool to see. And then one of the locals was telling us that that particular area of Arizona is the largest concentration of ponderosa pines on Earth.
Wow. That's right.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Was that the guy's name was Jimmy?
Jimmy Jet.
No, I don't think it was Jimmy Jet, but yeah,
I don't think it wasn't Jimmy.
Kenny?
It was it ended with a Y. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Our listeners don't care. It doesn't matter. Could have been Johnny.
Could have been Johnny. Dirtbag Johnny.
Could have been Sam. It doesn't matter.
Well, it was, bottom line, it was quite the adventure.
Okay,
and we're going to give all the details about.
So why
this
were
trip.
we there, Chris?
We went to see some people get married. We went to a Shannon and Jesse's wedding.
Jess's wedding. So in our infinite, it actually worked out good. We decided to fly in Saturday instead of Friday.
I know, right?
And so I flew from a wonderful airport. I love the airport here, Reno Tahoe Airport, to Oakland, California. Met up with you. We caught a plane from Oakland to Phoenix. And then we got off the plane. I had a bag checked because I brought a couple bottles of wine as a wedding gift to them, customized. Our homemade wine with the Coop label on there for their homestead there.
Homemade hooch.
And 17 cab, which is pretty damn delicious if I don't say so myself. But anyways, they love the wine, so I said, okay, I'm going to customize this, but I got to check a bag, obviously, to get it on the plane.
Right.
You went and got the rental car, and the line for the rental car was recalculous.
So that's a funny story because I'm stupid, but so we divided and conquered when we made the arrangements for this trip. You know, we both made our airline reservations separately, and then you said, Chris, you get the rental car and I'll deal with the hotels. So I'm like, okay, cool. So Jason handled the hotel reservations. We were going to spend 2 nights in Arizona. One night was going to be at Pine Top. After the wedding, we needed a place to crash, and then Sunday,
6 minutes away.
6 minutes Sunday, we drove back to Phoenix.
Tempe stock. What's that called?
What, Super 8? Motel 6.
It was the 6, but Tempe, Scottsdale. Scottsdale is where we were.
Right?
Yeah, we were in Tempe technically.
Tempe, right near ASU,
right near Phoenix.
Right,
airport.
Yeah, ASU is literally right down the street from where we were at. Anyway, so Jason took care of the hotel reservations. I took
so
care
you
of
did the rental car. So back to the rental car. So
the plane landed in Phoenix, the world's friendliest airport, by the way.
Self-proclaimed world's friendliest airport. Actually, it was friendly because we had somebody help. I don't think they work there.
Well, they were like volunteers because they have a bunch of retired people.
That guy wasn't a volunteer. That because you're like, hey, I got to go get the rental car, and I saw the sign. It said rental car to the right, and then baggage claim was like downstairs. And then he goes, yeah, you need to go downstairs and get your baggage. You go over to the rental car. You got to take a tram over there. When you get your bag, you got to come back up the stairs and go over to the rental car tram.
That's right.
And I'm like, all right. So people were friendly there.
And they were friendly, hella friendly. So anyway, we split up. I went to the rental car place. You went to get your bag, and so I go. This is where my senility kicked in. I got to the rental car place, and I'm like, all right, it's off.
I asked you, who did you rent from?
And I said budget. And I'm like, okay, so I get to the rental car place and the budget line. It's like you got budget, Avis, Hertz, Dollar, fucking. There's like I don't know.
There was 20 rental cars there,
and every one of them except for budget was empty. Budget
like 1-2 people in line.
Yeah, and budget was like an hour-long line.
Shit you not. I'm not exaggerating. 40 people
No,
in
it
line.
was stupid. I'm like, oh,
40
fuck.
people in line.
And I'm like, oh, so I get in line, and you finally show up, and you're like, oh, this is not good. So you start wandering.
Because I figured you would have everything signed, sealed, delivered, and then we just pop in the rental car and go.
So anyway, I'm standing in line. You go. You're like, we got to get a car. We got to get because we had a tight timeline.
We had a very tight timeline because we had to drive 3 hours.
The wedding was at 4. We landed at 11. We had a 3-hour drive, so you guys can do the math. But so we wanted to get to Pine Top. We wanted to check into the hotel, dump our luggage, and get and maybe freshen up, and then go to the wedding. Right. So I'm standing in this line. I'm like, fuck. You know, and then you're wandering off to see if you can find other arrangements.
I said I'm gonna go find because we got at least an hour wait here. It's not. We're gonna miss the wedding. So I said I'm gonna go find an alternative. So I got on my phone. I went to a couple other the rental car. I go, do you have cars? Yes, I do. Do you have cars? Yes, I do. And I go, is it cheaper for me to go to you or to go online? They go online. So I go online. I almost had a car booked. I mean, I literally was seconds away from hitting send. I already had the credit card number in and everything. And you called me. And what'd you say? I called you
and I said,
what'd you say?
I'm in the wrong line.
What do you mean wrong line?
I completely screwed the pooch. Like I said, my senility, being an older fella, I thought I'd booked with budget, but I'd actually booked with dollar. And so because I opened up my confirmation text messages from the, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm in the wrong line. So I kind of said, oh, my business partner is found another car, so I started working my way out of the line just to save face, you know.
Nice.
And dollar was literally in the next kiosk over, and there was nobody in line. It was empty.
You walked right up.
I walked right up, and I'm like,
you had a car within 10 minutes.
Yeah, we were out of the airport in 10 or 15 minutes, and
I was just getting ready to hit send.
So yeah, I mean, it's like I haven't. This is the first time I've traveled since the pandemic, the COVID pandemic nightmare. And so I'm a little out of practice.
Was there a pandemic?
Yeah, there was a pandemic.
Oh, a pandemic. Okay. Anyways, go on.
Anyway, long story short.
Get your vaccine, boys and girls. Or not.
We dodged, we lost about 20 minutes while I sat in line spanking the monkey, being stupid. But, we ended up getting back on track, and I made up time by putting the pedal to the metal. We ended up with a Chevy Malibu, and I was texting you a couple days ago about because we were like, this car it was low to the ground. It was hard for us to get. It was hard for me to climb in and out of it because it was like we're all used to pickup trucks and SUVs and shit like that, and this thing was a ground drag, a knuckle dragger in my opinion, but. It was a fine little car. It had everything we needed it to have. It had heated seats. It had air conditioning. It had power windows. But we didn't know it got hella good fuel economy. I mean, we drove the shit out of that car. But it turned out it was had a 1.5 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine.
No, it was
in
6-cylinder.
No, dude, it was a 1.5 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged.
Wow.
And that thing scooted. This thing wanted to go fast. It had no problem going fast. I mean, so, but it also had a CVT, one of those freaking chain drive transmissions in it. And I was like thinking as I was reading about the car, I'm like, oh, that's funny. I never felt like the car actually shifted gears like a conventional transmission did. But anyway, we made great time. We made it up to Pine Top with a little bit of time to spare. But Jason needed to be fed.
Wait a minute. We were both starving. We had fucking Chex Mix on the plane, Southwest.
Chex Mix. That's.
I had one cocktail on the plane. Like I had my vodka cranberry, and
Jack and Coke.
You had a Jack and Coke, and good smooth flight. Anyways, got the rental car. Boom. You were averaging 80 miles an hour, passing everybody, and we're lucky. Yeah, you didn't get pulled over because you were flying on these sections. We get up there, and I'm like, dude, we got literally like a half an hour and I had to change. You were already in your wedding garb.
Yeah.
and I go, dude, I am starving. And there was a McDonald's right next to our hotel, our Quality Inn.
Yeah.
And so I go, dude, do the drive-through. So we got a couple burgers and headed to the hotel just minutes away. I woofed down a burger, threw on the wedding clothes, looking pretty dapper, I might say. And we hopped in the car and took off.
Yeah,
it was literally 6 minutes to the Coop. That's what Shannon...
The Coop.
And Jess call the barndominium, which we'll get into it here in a minute. But basically, it's every guy's wet dream.
Pretty much.
Shop. And we get like halfway there, and you go, "Did you grab the wine?" I go, "Fuck." So you flip a bitch.
Flip the bitch.
Run back to the hotel. I run upstairs, grab the fucking wine, and hop back in the car. I'm like, oh, fuck, dude, we are pushing it. Wedding starts at 4 o'clock. It's literally like 3:58. We hop back in the car. We got a 6-minute drive. And we don't know what parking's like because reading everything,
we had no
it's
idea.
in this neighborhood, narrow streets. I'm like, dude, let's just fucking send it. Yeah, dirt road. And so we pull up on the street, and I go, oh, shit, there's a sign. You watch from the Instagrams from when Shannon's running up and down this dirt road, and I'm like, oh, fuck, there's the entrance. And we found a parking spot literally like 100 feet away. I'm like, oh, this is perfect.
Yeah,
so you fucking slid that Malibu right in, parallel parked that bitch, and we got out. And we're walking up, and everybody's sitting down for the wedding.
Oh, the wedding is like ready to go, man.
It's like so close. Now, luckily, they had a microphone malfunction, and they were trying to figure that out, and that's what bought us some time. So we kind of roll in, sneak in the back here. Whoa, you okay? What are you drinking over there?
Wrong pipe.
What do you got?
Wine.
So,
pardon me.
So we roll in, and of course, people are like looking at us walking in because it's a gravel driveway, and it's you're
crunching
walking on gravel, yeah. And so, anyways,
we weren't
they got
the last ones to arrive.
No, we weren't. Thank God, we were not the last ones. And then somebody rolled up. We had a couple people roll up on 3-wheelers.
No shit, trikes. I think
Ultra 3 came rolling in.
Ultra 3 people, yeah.
Dude, I'm like, oh my God. There was like a freaking couple rubber band douche cubes coming up. I'm like, oh God, this is great.
Let's backtrack a little bit because when we were on the drive up, when we got to the top of the mountain where there was a shit ton of campgrounds, right? Mm-hmm. On the drive in, and we got caught behind a couple of those. So side-by-sides apparently are legal.
They're street legal.
Street legal in Arizona, and they just bop around. They're just everywhere.
They're driving down the highway.
Yeah, doing like 55, 60 miles an hour, which isn't fast
pretty
enough,
cool.
in my opinion.
No,
but,
not when you're driving a rented Malibu.
Rented stepchild.
Yeah.
Redheaded stepchild.
Yeah, fucking just gorilla raping that shit up the hill. Anyways.
Woo-hoo! Had to make up time, baby.
We get to the wedding, and it starts, and it was cool. There was, they read their own vows, and it was a cool moment. There were very emotional for Shannon and Jess, and then so you may kiss the bride, and that lasted like 20-30 minutes or something. I don't know.
Like there was a lot of groping going on.
There's a lot of groping and shit.
A lot of groping.
I'm telling you, I want to come back as Shannon Campbell in my next life, man. The guy's loving life. It's great. So
he's living his best life.
Yeah, exactly. And so then the party ensues, and and we're like, I'm like, Chris, come on, we gotta go check this shit out. We gotta go into the barndominium, the shop there, right?
Well, that's where the chow line was.
Well, and so they had chow there, and I'm just like, I walk in the door, and I'm just like, you could hear the angels sing, and it's just it was immaculate. Obviously, it was clean and everything for the wedding, but I gotta imagine his shop's like that all the time.
I agree. I think that you look around, and I mean the workbenches, and the wedding was great, but I mean to be privileged enough to be invited, first of all. And to check out the Coop, the barn dominium, and the shop that Shannon does his where his mind creates shit, and he's an artist. I mean, that's the bottom line. But on that fabrication table was sitting the chassis, his brand new Ultra 4 cars under construction, two-seat Ultra 4 car. I know we interviewed him 2 years ago, and he alluded a little bit in that brief conversation with him about building it, potentially building a he needs a navigator. And I know he mentioned something about possibly being an electric car. This is not going to be an electric car. It's not a hybrid. It is most assuredly going to be gas.
Most assuredly, it is V8 fucking powered.
It's going to be an uncorked freaking motherfucker.
It's rowdy.
So, yeah, but I mean to be and to see how meticulously planned out that shop is, and you can get it. You being you, I mean you can appreciate all the organization and the way things are. He built everything.
He built everything in the shop, right? Like the workbenches, the shelves, the little fixtures to hold a simple little 4.5 inch flap disc.
Right.
I could appreciate the craftsmanship in there. And then the other cool aspect is all the memorabilia that's on the walls, right?
Absolutely. The garage art.
The garage art is on high. And anyways, super cool to check that shit out. And we met, what was that guy's name? Was his name Tim? The glass worker that's a neighbor? And you were, when I was looking at the car, you were talking to him. You don't remember.
That was Jimmy or Ken.
No. Anyways, so we're talking to him.
He's a local.
He's a neighbor right across the street and a glass worker. And he was giving us some good knowledge of the area and everything. And I'm like, yeah, you got a pretty fucking cool neighbor. He goes, yeah, we collaborate on some stuff. And I go, that's cool. Both artists in their own right. And then, go over to they had troughs of beer and sodas, and then the bar. Oh my God. The bar was flowing. And halfway through the night, I went to the bartender and I go, hey, how you doing on alcohol? Are you going to run out? And she goes, oh, no, we're not going to run out of alcohol. Come around the back. And I look back there and it's just loaded with Tito's and Jack.
Yeah. And gin and freaking everything they need.
Yeah, it was a killer setup party. And then I started walking around and mingling a little bit. And, there's Bob Sweeney from Jeepers Jamboree. And,
right.
And then some old school rock crawlers and, just everywhere you turned. And then here comes Waylon Campbell, obviously. Unfortunately, Bailey wasn't there because she was on the Rebel rally. But
Rebel, that's right.
But what was cool, and you could say your part, Chris, but what was cool was being recognized. There, it's like, hey, Jason, Chris, and Waylon's like, hang on a second, I'll be right back. And we chatted it up with him for a while.
Absolutely.
And, when Jess and Shannon got a chance, they came over and said hi to us. And I'm like, we were just kind of sitting there like wallflowers at the beginning, just kind of checking the scene out and stuff. And then, I started talking to people and people came up to us, and it was just like, this is pretty fucking cool, just to be here, be invited to this. And it was humbling and cool. And, I was glad you were there because, I get to do all this fun stuff all the time, and you needed a break more than anybody, and you let your hair down and had a few cocktails and was having a good time. So it was good to see that.
It was.
Yeah.
It was definitely good to get out of Dodge and go someplace that I've never been before. So that was super cool. And then of course, to just be part of this event, and not everybody was invited, and quite frankly, you and I were both kind of shocked that we were expecting to see the who's who of Ultra 4 there, and that wasn't the case.
Well, maybe they were invited and couldn't make it. I don't know. We don't know. But there was a lot of people that I thought would be there that were not, and again. Maybe they were invited and, couldn't make it. Dates collided. Who knows? But
we don't know. But I mean, again, it was still an awesome event.
It was a party.
Jess was beautiful. Her dress, everything was great. It was, Shannon was jacked. I mean, it was a super cool event. I mean, everybody was super happy. It was it wasn't as wild and crazy as we've seen
later on
IG.
It did get a little wild.
Well, later on it did. We split about
the
10:45.
The taco bar was legit, dude. It was like full on Southwest taco bar, and they had this shredded beef that was like real shredded beef. It was super like good. Really good flavors. Fresh made corn and flour tortillas.
Good.
Jalapeno pork, shredded pork.
That was
woo. I took my first bite, and there was some of the hottest fucking pepper I ever tasted in my life. The rest of them were mellow, so peppers are. You get some hot ones. That was a hot one. And then, of course, beans and rice. They had a jalapeno rice that was kicking as well.
Oh, that was kicking. That caught
was
me in the
good
morning.
rice.
I was like, come on, ice
and
cream.
I'm not nice. I'm not a big jalapeno hot guy, but the flavors were on point. And then, of course, they had all the accoutrement to put on your tacos, right? Like the radishes and lettuce and onions and salsas from mild to burn your fucking ass hot. So. Great spread, plenty of food.
Oh yeah, no, there was no shortage on that side for sure.
And then, just walking around the shop, the kitchen was incredible. The way they set up this barndominium.
Let's talk about that. I mean, if you listeners, if you have not or are not following Shannon Campbell Unleashed on Instagram, you really should, because when he broke ground on this barndominium 2 years ago, Jason, 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it was 2.5 years ago. I mean, it was like you see him, he had a backhoe out there and they were, digging out the foundation, and then they had the concrete truck come in and pour, and then the freaking, it was just a process, building right? Ramp, I mean, literally from beginning to end, the construction of this dream of his, and to see, the end result, firsthand, physically being in there. But you just mentioned the kitchen. I'm a foodie. You're a foodie. I like to cook. I mean, my wife and I remodeled our kitchen 8 years ago, and we to this point to today, recently I've realized I made some mistakes in the remodel, and if I was to remodel the kitchen again, I'd make some changes to it. But looking at what Shannon did in his kitchen and looking at the things he hand built, the hood to the hood.
I
mean, fuck,
for the vent.
He made all this stuff in there is by hand.
Art.
It absolutely
beautiful.
is, and it's just, I mean, it's amazing.
Very well done.
The attention to detail in that kitchen, and then of course standing at the sink, the farm style sink, and looking out. It's in the corner, right? So you have windows looking out into the yard with all the ponderosa pines. I mean, it's freaking beautiful. Awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, and then the glass accordion doors that go into the shop, so you can open that up. Right into the shop, and the kitchen's right there. Very, very well thought out. Well done. It's cool. Like I said,
yeah. I mean, it's a 1 bedroom, probably 2 bath. I think there's a bathroom downstairs and a bathroom.
Well, there was
upstairs.
a bathroom downstairs. I didn't use the bathroom downstairs. It might have had a shower in it. I don't know, but yeah, definitely 2 bath, and then the kitchen and the bedroom upstairs and bath. But
with the big windows upstairs looking
looking down into the shop. And how tall did he say that ceiling was?
30 feet.
30 foot. I mean, it was massive.
What did he say? It was the limit, the highest you could go.
The highest
so
he could do,
He built
yeah.
the highest he could go.
And so the property had a log cabin on it,
Right.
originally,
Still
and
does.
that was like, I'm assuming their vacation spot and stuff, because the Campbell Enterprises in Gilbert, Arizona, which is a couple hours away.
It's down near Phoenix. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he built this barndominium there. We went into the log cabin there. That was super cool. They did
Badass.
renovations on that, and a couple of the guys were giving us the lowdown on that. Killer fire pit out there. Yeah, and then we saw the pool room that our sticker was up on the electrical box, so that was
That's
super
right.
cool. We saw our koozies on the Monster Energy drink cooler
In the shop. Yeah.
in the shop. Yeah, so it was humbling. Honestly, it was just, when I got the invite in the mail and I go, Chris, we got an invite to the wedding. Do you want to go? And he goes, when is it? Okay. Maybe I can make that work. And then, as we got closer in, and I said, we gotta make some reservation stuff if we're going to make this happen. And you're like, yeah, let's do it. And so one night we just sat down and, like say, divide and conquer. I made some hotel reservations. You made the rental car. We made air reservations. And next thing we know, we're on a plane headed to Arizona to go to this wedding and show up there. And it was like I say, just crazy where this, all because of a podcast talking into a mic and
stupid podcast talking into a microphone.
But that's that networking thing, right? And it's fun, and it was cool, just hanging out,
it was
talking to
super
people,
cool.
and especially in that environment, it wasn't a race environment, right? Like stuff, people are running around doing their thing, whatever they got to do. This was a chill party atmosphere on high, and a celebration of this event, and people were letting their hair down. You even let your hair down.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, you let your hair down and had a few cocktails and had a good time. So it was fun.
Had a great time. I mean, it was certainly wonderful to like I said earlier in the podcast, to check out a new area, and that was surprising to be invited and to be able to do it. And I'm not like you where I just say fuck it, I'm going to do something and go do it. It's so for me to make that decision to jump on and go all in and make it happen. I mean, it was a great trip, a great adventure, and it was awesome memories. Beautiful area. Let's go back to talk about Pine Top. I mean, we kept everything on a budget. I mean, the podcast does okay, but we're not staying in 5-star hotels.
It wasn't. If it was up to me, we would have stayed in some different spots. But I was trying to be economically based.
Well, the second
the Quality
night in
Inn
Phoenix,
wasn't bad.
No, the
Quality Inn in Pine Top wasn't bad. And
no, it wasn't
and
bad. No.
I got our breakfast burritos for the next morning.
They're still in the car.
They're probably still in the car. These tiny ass fucking burritos with a blueberry muffin and a granola bar. Anyways, but we had a nice breakfast the next morning at where did we go?
Did.
What was that? That was on the way back to.
Well, hold on.
Oh,
So
okay. What do
we
you
got
got?
to talk about Taco Bell.
Oh, fucking taco shit. That's the drunk Taco Bell, just like college days.
Wait.
Okay.
No, I was not drunk. I was not
you
drunk.
were not.
I was moderating.
I
I was the DD. So but we're like, we left the party, the wedding, and we're like, Jason's
I was
about
fucking
halfway
hungry.
back to the hotel, and Jason's like, I'm hungry.
I need.
Like,
I
really,
need
dude?
something to eat.
You were just nibbling on food at the freaking wedding because they left out the rest of the leftovers. And
I
it's
didn't
like,
eat the leftovers, but I
you
had
did.
wedding cake. I had a little wedding cake, but
So like, it's like, the only thing open in Pine Top.
I needed
was Taco
something to
Bell.
soak up the alcohol. I was drinking Jack and Ginger all night, and I had one shot of a Bullet bourbon with
They had Bullet.
Yeah, they had Bullet. They were like, "Hey, we're doing tequila shots." I go, "I don't do tequila, but I will do whiskey." And they said, "Well, we got Bullet." I go, "Okay, I'll do a shot of Bullet." And it was on their Instagram feed of us doing a shot in the background. Yeah, that was good. Anyways, okay, go on. So
yeah, we ended up doing the drive-through at Taco Bell at 10:45 at night in Pine Top, and that girl was not.
She was not happy.
No, not at all.
She did not want to work that night.
No, she was very unhappy. So anyway, we ended up getting some chow, and we drove back to the hotel, and we're back at the hotel room, and you're just happy as a clam sitting over there at the table macking on your freaking burritos.
And that's the first Taco Bell I've had in like 3 years. It still tastes like ass. Terrible.
But then I'm setting up my CPAP machine because I'm an old man.
Oh,
and I got it all set up and filled with water and whatever because it's your humidity and you're like you finish eating your food, you brush your teeth, and then you crash. And I'm laying in bed and I put my CPAP on and I'm like, first of all, I just got finished with a cold. I had a bad cold, and that night I'm like, I was fine for a while, and then I woke up at like 2 a.m. and I needed to go to the bathroom, and I was like a little congested, and I put the CPAP back on when I got back into bed, and I was like, I can't fucking breathe, and so I left the CPAP off, and at that point I started snoring, and you woke up and you were like pissed off, and
dude, I wanted to smother you so bad. I was like, what the fuck are my options right now? If I kill him. It's in a seedy hotel. I could play it off as like a fucking, victim of some other crime. I could throw some cocaine on the ground or something. I don't know. I had all these thoughts going through my mind of like how I could get some sleep. But no, good thing was that I was, passed out. And I was like, just fuck it. Just try and close your eyes and get some sleep. I got some sleep. Wasn't great sleep, but I got some sleep.
I wake up early every morning, so
you sounded like a manufacturing plant with a train coming in every 4 minutes to the manufacturing plant. It was fucking loud.
Well, so
I know our neighbors, if we had neighbors at the hotel, were not happy.
Well, but that was only from 2 a.m. to like 5
whatever.
a.m.
It was that's Zen sleep right there. That's your Zen.
I know
sleep.
It is.
You gotta get that sleep. That's that REM, that Zen, whatever. Fucking. You gotta have that quiet time. And then so I get up in the morning and I'm like, holy hell, what the fuck? I said, your CPAP doesn't work. Well, I took it off. I'm like, well, of course it didn't work if it's not on.
Well, I couldn't breathe. I don't
it's care.
Important.
At that point, I didn't care if you were breathing or not. I just wanted quiet.
Anyways,
quiet.
So I woke up. I always wake up super early. I was up at like 4:30 in the morning, and you slept until 8. But anyway, whatever. It
was like 7:30.
Yeah, whatever. So we packed up and we had to get out of there. And you're like, hey man, let's get some breakfast. I'm like, yeah, let's look. So I did a Google search and there was this cool breakfast joint that was like half a mile
right down the street. Yeah,
right down the street. And I'm like, we got in the car.
5-star.
5-star, super good. It was like, this is going to be awesome. We're looking forward to it. Get in the parking lot. It is fucking
people waiting like 20 deep to get in.
And it's like, well, church had just gotten out, right? So it's like it was 8:30 in the morning, and the 7:30 mass had just gotten out, and it was like, okay, we're fucked. So we were trying to get out of the parking lot, and people are literally there's like people.
It was like 3 people trying, 3 cars coming in, and we were trying to get out.
And anyway, it was just so finally we get back on the road and was like, fuck it, we'll drive.
So I get on the old interwebs and I find another place. What was it? Ginny's?
I don't know. June's
restaurant
or something.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, this place looks legit. It's a log cabin. It's on our way back. It's about 40 minutes down the road. Let's go. So you fucking motor on down the road. But you were doing like you were doing 55, 60. You were being because we weren't in a hurry.
Well, and I used up all my credits yesterday.
It was Sunday. You were doing a little Sunday drive, So we get to this place, and it was a cool place. We pull up. We're like, yeah, this is gonna be good. And it was
Didn't
like
that town had an airport with houses next that you
Did
could
it?
fly.
Oh, yeah,
you could
it
drive your
did.
airplane to the house.
you could fly into your house on one of those estates. Yeah, that's pretty badass.
You don't want to fly into the house. You could fly to your house.
Well, that's true. Okay, whatever. Semantics.
Yeah.
So, we're like, okay, but it was like an hour and a half ordeal, but the breakfast was super good. It was a good chill spot. We weren't in a hurry.
I had a Denver omelet. It was freaking money.
Oh, yeah, that was good. I had a little scramble action with a biscuit and gravy. Oh, man, that was good. Anyways, so we get back on the road, and we were meeting up with our friend Jonathan Harry, and supposed to be Christina Huntress.
I was looking forward to seeing Christina. I haven't seen her in a couple of years.
I just saw them, a week before at Trail Hero. And Bronson, I called up Bronson and Jess. They were going to meet up with us, but then he was editing a video and said, I can't make it. And I was like, okay. So we met at Top Golf in Scottsdale. Well, but so being the bargain shopper that I am, I go, dude, we got to find a Costco because I know they have Top Golf gift certificates there, know, $100 gift certificate for $70. And so sure as shit, we find this Costco on a Sunday. You never go to Costco on a Sunday, by the way.
No, I hate Costco.
Unless you're in Carson City, Nevada. So anyways, it's a fucking shit show. We pull into the parking lot and it's fucking packed. And you've had enough. You're like, fuck this. I'm like, just park. I'll run in and get it. So I ran in, and I'm looking for the gift cards. And sometimes they're at the front of the store, sometimes they're at the back. Well, in this place, it was in the back.
That's fucked up.
I know. So I go to the back. Well, to the right of the gift cards, I saw kind of the gift card area, and then I saw their alcohol, and I go, oh, I got to go look at their bourbon selection.
Yeah, because you're out of town and traveling with alcohol is always.
Well, you never know. Costco's are some great freaking bargains. So I go running over there to the whiskey area, and I'm like, oh shit, Heaven Hill, bottled and bond, $40, $41. I'm like, oh my God. And I wasn't going to check my bag on the way home, right? I brought the wine there. I'm like, oh, I got my carry-on, just a couple clothes, and I was going to throw it in the overhead on the way home.
I'm sitting in the car. I'm like, where the fuck is he?
No. You don't realize how busy that Costco was, dude. It literally took me 5 minutes to get to the back of the store. There was so many fucking people. I'm like, oh, this is a shit show. So I'm like, I'm grabbing this. I will kick myself if I don't buy this bottle right now. This is a great fucking bottle for $41. One, it's hard to find. Two, you're not going to find it at $41.
What did you say the regular price is?
129 or something. If you find it, I don't know, somewhere in that area. So I grab that bottle. I run over to the gift card line. Okay. Oh, Top Golf. Grab that. And I run to the front. And every check stand is open and rocking. I mean, that's how busy this Costco is. And so, of course, I'm looking at a few things. One, demographics, like, is this some old person that's going to talk the ear off of the checker? Do they have a lot of shit in their cart? How is this line moving?
Are they a MILF?
Do they have a helper, right, that's helping scan items and shit, right? And so I take all that survey in and like, I'm like, okay, this is the line. I hop in that line. And this other guy, because I got like 2 items, right? And this other guy, they didn't have a self-checkout there. But I couldn't do self-checkout because I had alcohol. So anyways, and I look at this other guy that jumped in a line with, just a couple items too next to me. I go, okay, fucking battle royale. Here we go. Let's see if I chose the right line. So I chose the right line. I got in before him, but got checked out, ran back to the fucking car, and we went to Top Golf. What'd you think of Top Golf Scottsdale? That was kind of cool, huh?
It was fun. I like Top Golf. We've been to several over the years, and I mean, Las Vegas is obviously the creme de la creme of Top Golfs. With
Las Vegas is.
Yeah, Las Vegas. That's what I was saying.
Yeah. Oh.
But Top Golf in Scottsdale was cool. I mean, it was hot, inside. We were waiting for Jonathan to show up. We were sitting inside watching. Well, I was watching the football games, but had a couple cocktails and was waiting for Jonathan to show up. Oh, but
Wait,
you ordered.
What about my cocktail?
You ordered your martini with an onion, and that.
So this girl, I swear she was under 18, but whatever. She was serving cocktails. She had to be over 18, but she goes, "What can I get you?" And I'm like, you know what? I'm done with Jack and Cokes and stuff. I want a good vodka martini. So I go, I'll have the Grey Goose up with onions. Grey Goose martini up with onions,
Mm-hmm.
So any standard fucking bartender knows what that is. She goes, oh, okay, and writes it down. And what comes to my table? Our table, Chris.
Well, you ended up with a martini with Grey Goose vodka, but it had red onion, sliced red onion in it. It was not a cocktail onion at all.
It had two fucking onion rings, red onion rings in my glass.
And it was like, when that showed up, I was like, what?
I look at this thing and I instantly start busting up and I look at you and I go, what the fuck? I mean, I thought I was on a TV show getting pranked. I honestly thought I was getting pranked. I was like, what the fuck is this? And she served it, like, here you go. And I'm like.
And she scooted away pretty quick, And
I should have known better because the bartender had a man bun. I should have known better. If you want to stereotype.
We learned. So, I mean, here's the deal. I mean, we're seasoned, right? That's the polite way of saying we're a little bit older and we've been around the block a few times.
I don't care. You should know how to make a fucking martini.
No, but let me finish. So, a couple of years ago, I was at an event up in Petaluma or Roanoke Park, and I was at a casino resort, and I asked the bartender. She was rocking it. She was doing well, and they had a pretty good bourbon selection in the behind the bar. And I'm like, oh, this is good. This is gonna work. And I ordered it and said, how's your old fashioned game? And she's like, I make the best old fashioned. And I'm like, oh, well, show me. And it was not. I mean, it started. She didn't have the simple syrup, and it was not good. But I mean, that's the thing. We've learned over the years that you need to go to the places that are truly dedicated to their craft.
But this was a legit bar. I mean, it wasn't like a fucking. I mean, they had a shit ton of alcohol, shit ton of beers on tap. Know how to make a fucking martini, and that's fine.
Well,
but if you don't have onions, if you don't have cocktail onions, just tell me. I've been to bars. I don't know why you don't have cocktail onions. Cocktail onions should be a standard commodity at any fucking bar.
Garnish is important, whether it's a twist.
I'm not asking for a fucking I'm not asking for something unreasonable. And now, granted, she didn't know, but the bartender should have known because they're a fucking bartender, for God's sakes.
Right. Okay? Well, I don't think I get the bartenders are cut from the same cloth today as they were 20 years ago.
Obviously not. And especially ones with man buns. And I will fucking stereotype. So I get this drink and I'm like, all right, I'll roll with it, So I take my fork and pull the fucking onion rings out of my fucking cocktail.
Right.
Because I didn't order a Bloody Mary fucking from Las Vegas that has a ham hock and onion rings and a cheeseburger and everything else hanging off the side of it.
I like ham hocks and beans, though.
So it was fine, right? I drank it. Okay, but honestly, Top Golf, Scottsdale, get your shit together. Learn how to make a standard martini with fucking onions. I know olives are the standard. But onions are not that.
Well, that's a Gibson at that point, right?
No, a Gibson's with gin. You look that up. Okay.
That's correct.
So It's not. I didn't ask for the world here, but that was fucking hilarious. So, anyways, Jonathan rolls up, and
With
we
no
go.
Christina. No Christina.
Christina was not feeling well. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see her. I saw her the week before, so yeah, you missed out. Christina's great. Makes me laugh every
Christina,
time I
give
see
me a
them.
call when you get a chance.
Yeah,
You have my
right.
number.
Don't call Chris. It's not going to be good. And so Jonathan is hilarious, right? So we go up and we start whacking golf balls. And we were up there for a couple hours, and we played the front nine at Pebble Beach.
Yeah.
The front nine at Pebble Beach, and that was cool because
I gave you a run for your money until about the fourth hole.
Yeah. And what was cool is you're hitting it out there, and it measures your distance and everything, and you got to pay attention to the screen. I didn't learn that till about the fifth or sixth hole because you're playing along the ocean, and it says aim for the blue flag, and so I'm aiming for the blue flag, but the blue flag isn't necessarily in the middle of the fairway. And you got to look at the screen, and you got to go, okay, well, I need to go left. Like a couple shots after I hit a couple into the ocean.
You played a lot of cliff.
I had to hit into the fucking fence on the left for the computer to recognize that it was middle of the fairway. And I go, well, that's kind of bullshit.
I started calling cliff.
How many times did I hit that back fence? I hit that back fence a few times with Jonathan's driver. I fucking was smoking it.
Oh, yeah. Jonathan brought his own clubs, too. Yeah, absolutely.
He did. He walked into Topgolf with his own clubs like a fucking player.
Oh, yeah.
So we had fun there. And then I said, dude, let's hit go-karts. There was a go-kart place right around the corner.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just across the freeway.
Electric go-karts. So we went over there, and, another little ditzy tween goes, it's 2 hours, and I'm like, okay, fuck this. There's a bowling alley right there. We're going bowling. So we went into the bowling alley and we bowled, and that was a lot of fun.
We bowled 2 sets. Two
games. We we had a blast there. It actually worked out really well. Bowling's still one of the most affordable sports on this earth.
Hell yeah!
And you get to wear some cool shoes.
Oh no, those shoes were not good. But I mean, it was funny to watch the pins. They have the wire pins.
I've never seen that before.
That's the trip. And I actually afterwards I looked it up on what's the company that does
Google?
It anyway. Huh? I Googled it, and I was like, that company that does that makes all the equipment for bowling alleys, they had 2 different systems, the conventional, regular set pins.
Pins are by themselves. Yeah.
The pins are by themselves. And then of course you have the wire ones, and it's like, you're looking at the videos and it's like,
how does that work?
Well, I mean, obviously the purists want the conventional
regular pins
because they behave differently. Unwired.
They did behave a little wonky, huh?
They did, but again, the sets were super fast.
They were set fast.
We played for an hour, and we played 2 sets. Right?
You're right.
I don't think that if we were playing.
So for an amateur, it's okay.
I guess so. I don't think a pro would want to play on those.
No, fuck no.
But it was, I'm sitting there like, those are acting weird when they're like, you watch them bounce up. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Jonathan called it, and I'd never seen that before. And they're all on wires. And I'm like, well, that's weird, but it worked. It worked for us.
It was super fun. I mean, it was air conditioned because it was hotter than hell outside. I mean, that going back a little bit to when we were at Topgolf, I think we had our booth upstairs. We were on the top level of
third level,
third level.
Yeah, we were on top,
and it was 102 outside.
Was it 102?
Mid-October. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, it was hot.
It was hot, but I mean, it's just go. I mean, we had a great time, and I think you won both sets of bowling, and you won you won golf. I mean,
wow. I'm just a scholastic sports star here.
Right.
I owe it all to Jack Daniels.
Your buddy Jack. But yeah, we were just
Taught me
go
everything I know.
And so then after we finished bowling, Jonathan had to tap out. He wanted to get back to Christina and make sure she hadn't died.
Nice.
But and thankfully she hasn't, which is great because I do want to see Christina again. So
King of the Hammers.
King of the Hammers, that's right. So we ended up then you're like, I'm hungry. I'm like, of course.
We needed dinner.
So what do you want? I was like, I want a good burger. So we ended up finding a burger. We ended up going to
Red Robin.
Red Robin, which is across the street. But I made a mistake, and we ended up taking about an hour to get there. So
Well, no, it wasn't that long. But the old Malibu was tired at that point, I think. But yeah, we got to Red Robin and had a great. We sat at the bar and had a great burger.
That was a good call.
And then and they had Sam Adams Oktoberfest on tap, your favorite beer.
Oh, I love Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
You love Sam Adams Oktoberfest. I go, look what's on tap, and you're like, oh, ho, 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 ho. You start drooling right then and there.
Dude, I will search far and wide. I bought 2 cases of Sam Adams Oktoberfest this year. So
yeah, it's a good brew. And so had a burger and beer, and then I'm like, oh, we were talking about it earlier in the day or the day before about malts. And they had an ice cream machine and a malt. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm having a fucking Oreo malt. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm going to order fucking dessert.
You love your desserts.
I love my fucking dessert, dude. That's you got to cap it off. You live once. And so I'm like, oh, I'm getting an Oreo malt. So the bartender guy.
I'm on my third life as it is right now.
Yeah. And I go, hey. He goes, you need anything else? I go, yeah, I'm going to take one of those Oreo malts to go. He goes, oh, yeah, hell yeah, that's a good call.
Bartender was cool.
Yeah, so he rolls over to the ice cream machine and fucking puts the cup up there and pulls the handle, and it's... It was like your night after Taco Bell. It just fucking...
He literally got 2 inches of ice cream.
Dude. He goes, we're out of ice cream. And I go, what the fuck? Are you serious? He goes, yeah, we're out of ice cream. I go, you got another machine somewhere? Nope. Nope, this is the only machine. We're out of ice cream. No malt for you. And I go, fuck. He goes, well, we got other desserts. I go, I don't want any fucking other desserts. I want a fucking Oreo malt milkshake right in meow. So, needless to say, we did order, didn't we get a cheesecake or something?
There's no we, it was you. I don't do dessert.
You had a couple bites. It was some cheesecake.
No, you ended up with the freaking mud pie or whatever.
Yeah, mud pie. It wasn't that good. Wasn't that good. I was a little disappointed. But anyways.
So we left there and we had to motor across town to get to our hotel in Tempe.
Oh, fuck. What a shithole that place was.
Super 8. No,
it was
6.
A Motel 6. Tom Bodette greeted us at the front. He left the light on for us, but he should have turned it off and just told us to keep going.
So I did all the driving this trip, and so we pull into this hotel, and so Jason, get out and go check us in. He's like, he jumps out of the car and goes to the office, and like 2 minutes later, he's tapping on the window. Dude, you got to come in too.
You got to come in. They need your ID.
What?
They need your ID. That's how fucking seedy this hotel was. You need an ID for everybody that's staying there and the license plate number. I had to
turn the car off. I had to get in, walk into the lobby and, deal with this guy. And I'm like, yes, I'm alive. I'm a human being, whatever.
Yeah.
And so then Jason picked
We're not trafficking here.
We're in the back corner, right? Back corner upstairs.
Well, no, they gave us options for rooms, right? And he goes, well, we got this, and this. And the third option was upstairs at the end. And I go, I want that room. At least we know we're not going to have anybody walking on our ceiling if we're downstairs.
Right.
We only have one fucking neighbor. I'm like, I've played this game too many times. I'm like, this is our room. And it actually turned out to be a good spot. The room itself, I'm pretty sure it's been on CSI or some fucking cops videos.
Pornhub.
Dude, that was pretty bad.
But I will say, I had a great night. My CPAP worked perfectly that night. And you slept well. I slept well.
Well, yeah, because I was fucking dead tired and you didn't snore, so that was great.
Well, and you said you woke up in the middle of the night and thought I was dead because I wasn't snoring.
I did. I honestly did. It was like 3:30 in the morning. I heard something go down in the parking lot. I'm not sure what. And I'm like, you when you're in that fucking dead sleep and you're in a strange place and you wake up and you start putting together real quick in the next minute of like, where am I? I'm not at home. I'm not in my camper. I'm at a fucking Motel 6 in fucking
and Tom Baudet's hovering over me,
Tempe, Arizona. And I just yeah. So I'm like, okay. And then I look over and you're fucking fast asleep and quiet as a church mouse. And I'm like, what world am I in right now?
He's dead.
Yeah. I go, fuck, what am I going to tell his wife and kids? I don't know. He just didn't. But anyways, no, it was fine. And we were there for just a few hours and it worked out fine. It was inexpensive. And worked out great, but I would never stay there again.
You say it was inexpensive. I think it was more expensive than it should have been. 0 stars.
Would not recommend Motel 6.
Should have been 60 bucks. What did you spend? $180 or something?
No, it wasn't that much. It was like $96, but whatever. And the floor in the bathroom was all waterlogged, and I was just like, and they painted over everything. Anyways. Pretty sure it was on an episode of Cops or fucking something, but we survived. No bed bugs. I was worried about bed bugs. I didn't know if you thought about bed bugs, but no bed bugs, and
they're crawling all up and down my arms right now.
Well, that could be. So, yeah.
I'd much rather sleep I think we should drive next year, and if they ever get married again, we should drive in our campers down there.
Yeah, I love the Lance life. But then we headed out the next morning, like 6 a.m. or whatever. We got out early and headed over to the airport and I got my luggage checked and you dropped off the rental car and all that shit. We did that. And then I met you at the terminal, right? You were flying, obviously, a different flight. I had a direct flight back to Reno, which was nice. You had a direct flight, but back to Oakland.
Yep.
So we had breakfast at this restaurant. It was pretty interesting. It was like a Southwest flair restaurant. So check in with the hostess, and they're like, sit us down at the table, and then they're like, oh, hit this QR code.
Right.
For the menu and shit. So you look it up, and then he goes, okay, the waiter, good guy, order online, and I'm like, well, fuck, what the fuck are you doing here? I ordered a cup of coffee, and he goes, oh, be sure to add the cup of coffee to your bill. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why do I don't know.
This is the new world, dude.
So we order. Ching, ching,
it's the world's friendliest airport, remember? And
it was good food. It actually was good food, and he was great service bringing it out. He kept the coffee topped off. He kept the water topped off. You had to go to your gate. You were an hour earlier than I was on the flight, and I stayed there, another half an hour. But the guy behind me, there's like 5 people behind me, and this guy was fed up. He threw his phone down on the table, says, fuck this. Do you have a menu? And the guy's like, no, I don't have a menu. I want a fucking omelet. Can you make me a fucking omelet without ordering online? And the guy's like, yeah, what do you want in your omelet? I don't care. Just get me a fucking omelet. And the guy was irate.
Really?
Just livid. Just livid. And I was sitting there just going, oh, God, this is great. And, sir, can I get you anything else? Yeah, I want sourdough toast with strawberry jam.
Wow.
All right, we can do that. And a cup of coffee. No decaf. I'm like,
I want a ham sandwich and a burger.
Where's this guy going? If he's on a vacation trip, like most people that are at an airport, right? Like you're either traveling for business or on pleasure, right? Like
right. Well, those
and I had to assume because it was like a family, because he wasn't by himself or with one other person. I had to assume it was like a vacation of some sort.
So he was an asshole.
Oh, he was not happy to be going wherever he was going. So I'm just sitting there going, all right, Cool story, bro. Have fun on your fucking vacay.
You're an asshole.
Oh, it was
Probably on his
great.
third marriage.
So, yeah. Anyways, good trip. It was
a
fun to
great
see
trip.
part of Arizona I've never seen before. Would have liked to hook up with Bronson and Jess, but didn't. But hooked up with Jonathan. That was a good time.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Definitely want to go back and do some wheeling there. There's some great country out there, and
Well,
want to make
there's
that happen.
great terrain. I mean, it looks like a lot of great camping. It looks like I would just as a little add on. I mean, when we were driving home on Sunday, or not home, back to Phoenix,
To the Motel 6.
to the Motel 6.
Motel. Call a day in.
We there were a lot of RVs, trailers, and fifth wheels and so forth that were motoring back towards Phoenix. And I will say, those dudettes, whoever was driving those things, they are not afraid to fucking send it.
No.
I mean, pulling fucking 8, 9, 10, 12,000 pounds behind your rig going 80 miles an hour on the
Yeah,
freeway.
you were passing people, man.
Dude, they were crazy.
Arizonians? What do you call them? Arizonians? They got zero fucks to give on towing.
It's like, fuck.
Yeah, it was
I mean,
impressive.
that one guy in the F4, there was that lifted F450 that was after Payson, and he was like freaking just, he had no F's to give whatsoever.
Oh my
He
God,
was-
the traffic in Payson on Sunday coming back. That was a
yeah,
shit
that-
show.
that
Went through like
left turn.
6 lights.
that was stupid. But yeah, good trip, great trip. And I also will say that Pine Top reminds me, and I think you said the same thing, reminds me a lot of Lake Tahoe.
Oh God, yeah.
Without the lake,
Without the lake and without the crowds. But I guess it gets pretty crazy there, up there with a lot of second homes and their log cabins. A lot of log cabins up there. Very cool. But the ski resort, I guess, is like 30, 40 minutes up the road, and it's high elevation, 11,000 plus feet. And I'm like, holy hell, you're in Arizona. You don't, Arizona, you think a cactus and fucking, what was that Snoopy character that lived out there? Snoopy's brother that lived out in Arizona with the cactus.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, come on.
Really? I just think
what's
Wile E.
his
Coyote
name?
and freaking Roadrunner.
His name was like Tumbleweed or something. I'm going to look it up right now.
Pigpen.
Where's Lorenzo? Get him on the horn right now.
Lorenzo.
He's right there.
He's keeled over dead.
No, come on. Okay, I'm looking it up. Snoopy's brother, Spike. You remember Spike?
No.
Dude, you remember Spike?
Oh,
That
Spike.
was he lived out and he had a mustache, a couple of hairs. That was Spike.
Was he a pimp? He was a pimp.
Spike it lives in Arizona. Anyways, yeah. There you go.
Right on. Well, it was a good trip. I'm glad we were able to make it. I'm glad we were invited, and it was an eye opener. It was certainly entertaining, and we saw a lot
And
of
congratulations to Shannon and Jess. That's
Absolutely.
freaking awesome. They were super emotional and speaking from the heart in their vows, and it was cool. Cool to see. Cool to be there, and very cool to see the Coop in person. It is all that you see on IG and more, and they are definitely legit. What you see is what you get, and I love that because it's not this. Shannon is the godfather of.
He's the OG, dude.
He is the OG, and but he doesn't have that I'm all that in a bag of chips attitude, which he totally could pull that off, but he doesn't. And I love how humble he is, and it was cool to be part of that experience. So,
Well, and when we were later in the evening, when he came over and wrapped us both up and said, "Man, I love you guys. You guys are great." It was so cool.
yeah. So
Right
good shit,
on.
man. So here we go. Yeah, onward and upward. We'll see what wedding we get invited to next.
I don't know, maybe never, but yeah, it was certainly that's our synopsis of the Campbell wedding down in Pine Top, Arizona. and the
Lakeside
adventures
Pine
that
Top.
the adventures that ensued all around that. So, right on. Yeah. So to wrap this put a bow on
Put
this
a bow
thing,
on this shit.
So, whatever. So, yeah. If you want to get a hold of Jason or I, you can email Jason at wheelingwineandwhiskey.com, or you can email me at chris@wheelingwineandwhiskey.com.
Look at it. You're keeping it all separate now. I like it.
Trying to keep it separate. I don't want to have confusion. And then
Gotta keep them separated.
I know we didn't do any business on this episode, but we just kind of jumped right into it.
Oh, there was business.
There was business, but
Business has been had.
Right. If you want to get a hold of Jason, I'm sorry, if you want, so you can.
Who do you want to get a hold of? What are you doing, Chris? Who do you want to talk
confused.
to?
Well, I've been
Tell me.
drinking all day, so
All day? Nice.
Well,
You start in the morning?
It's my day off, so
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
if you want to get a hold of us, you can leave a voice message at 408-800-5169 at 408-800-5169.
408-800-5169. Yeah.
It'll most likely get played on the air. And then don't forget about our website, which is wheelingwineandwhiskey.com. We're coming up on the holidays, and you want to, get your orders in early so you can get your merch, wear a hoodie or a hat or a koozie
Shirt.
or whatever, a T-shirt under the
Magnetic
Christmas tree for
koozie.
your loved ones. Magnetic koozie, that's right.
Sticker.
All
all the above.
And then, of course, leave a review on Apple Podcasts and DM Jason at Wheeling Wine Whiskey on the IG so you can get yourself a sticker. And what else, Jason?
I don't think there is anything else. That pretty much wraps it up.
Well, there you go.
And with that,
We're out.